you. Hello, everyone. Welcome around.
Do you like that?
Perfect. I do.
I think he was just trying to trick us. Zach's like, watch this. I thought it was starting soon. And now.
Now. Do it. Now. I'm Sara Lukan. He's Jamie Thomas. This is another edition of Check-In as we get you set for the Winnipeg Jets. Kicking off what will be a very busy stretch here at Canada Life Centre. 3 games in 4 days, starting tonight against Seattle, Calgary.
It's not really like a nice homestand, though. Hey, 3 games in a row. We're going to give them 4 days, though.
I know, huh? Yeah. Calgary in town tomorrow, Utah on Sunday. So a busy stretch here and a jam-packed show today.
Yeah, Chris Johnston from The Athletic is going to join us. And why? Well, because the Winnipeg Jets were ranked rather high, the front office for that matter, for their efforts over the past year.
Yep.
So there's an Athletic article. So ask Chris about that and the latest news in the National Hockey League. And Alison Lukan from the Kraken
Always love
reporter.
when she's on.
She's the best.
Yes, she is.
Like,
absolutely.
I hate math, but Allison makes me like math. Just a little bit.
There you go.
You like that?
That might be the greatest compliment that you could give her. Because I don't know. I'll have to stress to her afterwards just how much you dislike her.
I hate math.
And we love to see so many of you in the chat already. Hello to all of you. I like to actually, even just before the show started, James Robinson, 9,800. It's been 100 years since the last hockey game.
Well, James, 3 games in 4 days.
Right.
It's going to take care.
We're going to make up for it, James.
Your complaints have been heard by the National Hockey League, James, and that's what's going to happen. We're going to be busy here.
Yes. Drew also does not like math, so
thank you, Drew.
Feel for it. But before we get going, because we are going to bring everybody in shortly, let's take a quick look back at the Jets' last game, a win in Calgary.
We got to be ready. We can't just come out thinking we're going to have an easy. We got to make sure that we bite back.
Up top now from beyond shoot. Deflected in front by Jonathan Toews. His first as a Winnipeg Jet. Jets fans in the building on their feet. Kyle Connor, net drive. Berg Shifley scores! Bulls and 5 straight, and the Jets have their first lead. It's 2-1. But the Jets come from behind. They have won 5 straight.
Power play, big goal. PK, outstanding job. Elliot, great job, boys. Yes!
So I'm not going to lie. I mean, I thought it was a different way to showcase the game, but it's the music. I was just standing here.
But it sounds like from the Looney Tunes in some ways.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like a little circus.
Yeah.
Anyways, I enjoyed it. I thought that it was great. What did you think about the win in Calgary?
Well, the beginning, first 2 periods, a little dry.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a little dry, but the third period had plenty of entertainment. Great to see Jonathan Toews get his first goal as a Winnipeg Jet. I have a buddy, Fraser McLeod. I was actually from Winnipeg. He was at the game, and he said the ovation that Toews got in the building was amazing. And then Mark Scheifele again. Like, it just seems whenever he has a chance, it's going in the net. So him and Kyle Connor are just locked in right now, and a lot of respect for that top line as the bottom 3 lines are working out their chemistry issues, or I don't want to say issues, but just trying to figure one another out. But the top line has been delivering night in, night out. Connor Hellebuck was fantastic, but they're finding ways to win even in a tough game like Calgary was making. Calgary didn't give them a whole lot to start, and then Winnipeg locked in. And again, the penalty kill, 5 more kills.
They could use. I mean, I don't think they need this much practice.
Yeah,
they're doing okay.
They wanted to make sure all the new guys got these opportunities. Right. Like, training camp doesn't give you the right chances. Now they're just trying to take care of this early on in the season. So hopefully the penalties reduce themselves a little bit. Jeff Bose, Fraser McLeod, the volleyball guy. Yes, it's exactly. I can't believe how many people know Fraser. I thought I was the.
You thought you were special?
Yeah, you know who Fraser is, but anyways, we'll go. Another story.
Just before we bring in Chris Johnston, let's take a quick look at lines from today, because yesterday, if you remember our practice, if you saw any of the news around there, Morgan Barron was not out for practice yesterday. So I was wondering whether or not he would be available. He was day-to-day. Great news. He was back out there today. So we are expecting him to be centering that 4th line again. And you take a look at what jerseys they're wearing. Always a hit.
It's a heritage game, everybody. Everybody loves these jerseys. So Brad, it's the family game, actually.
Yep.
So Hayden Fleury, his younger brother Kale's playing tonight.
Yes.
The parents are in town. So there's that. On top of that, Lane Lambert's the head coach of the Seattle Kraken. That is
Yep.
Brad Lambert's uncle.
Yep.
And Grandma is in town. Grandma Lambert's in town. So
I love that.
there's going to be a huge family connection here tonight at the Canada Life Center for this game against the Seattle Kraken.
Yes.
As promised.
All right. Let's bring him in.
I'm pretty sure he was at the game. I think he was anyways. It is Chris Johnston from The Athletic.
Which game would you be referring to?
Were you at Game 7?
I was there. I was in the building.
I'm not gonna, CJ, your videos that you posted on social media, highly entertaining. We don't get the opportunity to be fans too often, but to be able to see your enthusiasm, because I know that your love for the Blue Jays runs very deep and has for decades.
Yeah, I literally go back to the late 80s with this team. So I've got great memories of going to games with my dad as a kid. And I've really been with them throughout all that time. Obviously, it was memorable to see them win the World Series. But the other night, I got to say, I felt a little bit like a kid again, being at that game, feeling the emotions of the night, feeling stressed, all the things that, frankly, that I'm sure, the Jets fans out there feel when it gets to playoff time. But you're right, in our jobs, I don't get that too often. So it was a special night. I don't think my feet have hit the ground yet, and I can't believe the World Series starts in Toronto tomorrow night.
You've been in a lot of loud buildings. How loud was it when Springer launches that home run?
It's so hard to compare. It's right there. Like, it might be the loudest. I actually happened to be at the Batista game back in 2015, and that was pretty crazy too. But playoff baseball feels a little bit, because it's so tense, but it kind of plays out a little bit slowly. Like, you almost feel like you're drowning, and then the whole building was sort of slowly going under, and then bam, just the explosion where everyone, started to realize that the Jays, had a chance to win the game. So it was nuts, man. It was crazy. And I'm probably still trying to recover my voice a little bit a few days later.
Yeah, Ken Weeb is going to join us tomorrow. His voice is failing as well. And, Weber, he always finds a way to get to one of those events, and there he was in game 6 and 7. So really happy for you guys as Blue Jays fans. We're not going to talk about the series until tomorrow as a Dodgers fan.
He's a diehard Dodgers fan.
So I love your friendship. I don't want to ruin it right now. So the reason why I brought you on here this afternoon, the article on The Athletic, executives polled around the National Hockey League about the work the front office has done. The Winnipeg Jets have found themselves fourth. But before we get into that part, CJ, talk about the context of this article and what you guys do about it.
Yeah, it's going to be an annual thing we do. This was the second straight year that I've been part of doing it. And essentially, it's what you would imagine. We reach out to GMs, presidents, assistant GMs, notable people in front offices around the league. We try to get as sort of varied of opinion as possible. And it's a fairly simple exercise. Who are the best 5 front offices in your view right now, not including your own? And then we, each of those scores is tabulated, and that's how we get to the ranking you saw in the story. But, this year we had responses from 37 execs, I think roughly half or maybe even a little bit more of the league's GMs among them. And, really what we're trying to do is measure an industry sentiment about who's doing well. Which of your peers do you think is doing this the best at this point in time? And, obviously the Jets front office got pretty high marks, from us during this exercise.
What are you hearing from the executives about the job that Kevin Cheveldayoff and company are doing, CJ?
Well, I think, obviously coming off winning a President's Trophy, that's going to get people's attention. But, we're also talking about, those in the industry that aren't just looking at the standings when they're voting on something like this. I mean, these are people that are dealing with, whether it's Kevin Cheveldayoff or other members of the Jets front office or scouting staff throughout the year, and have a lot of respect for them. Obviously, the way they've managed, some of the trades they've made, re-signing Kyle Connor, I'm sure was fresh in people's minds, because we did the polling here in basically late September, early October, in the fall as the season was getting going. So I think really what I heard the most from the people that had them on the ballots that I was part of was, that there's a lot of respect for the way they've managed to keep a competitive team going despite, some of the headwinds they might face. I think the obvious one you could point out is, we don't list Winnipeg as a primetime destination, for example, for free agents. But, obviously the Jets organization has done a great job of scouting and developing players and then retaining them ultimately. Most of the the best talent that's come through there stays for a long time, including, that new deal for Connor. So, it's not easy for any front office, I think, to build a team year after year that can be a winner. But, I think that there's a recognition that the Jets, really outkick their coverage. They don't even have a big front office, say, compared to some other teams, which obviously is a feature in their case, not a bug.
CJ, I wanted to ask you just about a couple of things going on around the league. And I know that with the Olympics, obviously, that's the focus for so many people. And there had been talk that there was going to be some sort of pre-Olympic event. I mean, no all-star game this year, but something pre-Olympics for it. But news came out now that the NHL and the NHLPA have decided not to do anything. Do you know why? Was it just a timing issue?
I think more than anything, there's a recognition that you're asking a lot of the players that are going to the Olympics. I mean, we know these players, ones that get chosen, they all want to be there. But let's face it. I mean, the season is more condensed and of a grind than it would be for everybody this year. Then they basically have to fly to the New York area and then take charters to Milan, try to be at their best for their countries, and fly back and be right back into the season. So I think maybe taking one thing off the plate of these players was part of it. The other part was, I think logistically, maybe, ultimately, I think when everyone sat back and looked at it, might not have made the most sense. And really, the reason this came about is because there was supposed to be an All-Star game this year at, the Islanders Arena, UBS Arena. And when they first decided to take that away, that was after the Four Nations, because I think everyone recognized that was such a successful event that do we really want to hold an All-Star game in the traditional format? After that, we're probably going to get panned for that. But, they'd made a promise to the Islanders that was going to be there. And so they were trying to come up with something creative to replace it. After months and months of going back and forth, I think ultimately everyone just decided there's a lot going on this year. Let's give the players the best chance to perform at the Olympics. And then we'll be in 2027 at UBS Arena doing something, I think, a little more thought through and better executed.
You can't win the President's Trophy or the Cup in October, but you can certainly create a very large hill to have to climb. When you look around the league right now, CJ, and you put on whether it be your TSN Hockey Insider hat, your athletic hat as well, what are for you some of the biggest surprises that you've seen early on in this season?
There's some trouble in some Canadian markets. I mean, obviously the Flames are at the bottom of the standings, but I think, Ontario, you've got both the Maple Leafs and Senators, kind of off where they would want to be very, very early. I mean, you don't want to resist the temptation to overreact to 7 or 8 games, but those teams played in a playoff series last year and figure to be back in that conversation and have kind of skidded out of the gates. A team that's maybe escaped some of the radar, but I've taken notice of certainly is Tampa. They've been just such a perennial team at the top of the league, and it's not just that they haven't put many points in the bank to start the year. If you look under the hood there, it's just been a really sluggish start. There's not a lot of encouraging signs. Probably the best sign they have is they still got a lot of really good players. They have a great track record and they got 70 plus games left. But, I think that there is a degree of urgency to, not dig that kind of hole. I mean, we've seen teams do it. I mean, the Oilers, frankly, the last 2 seasons got off to rough starts and obviously played all the way to the end in the Stanley Cup Finals. So, it's always a balancing act, I think, between, making too many conclusions. But, I even sense the trade talk and some of the things around the league is actually starting to pick up a little bit because of, that urgency in a few markets, right? There's a few teams that I think and front offices that are already feeling a degree of pressure. So, it's a competitive league. It's a difficult league, and one you don't want to get too far behind if you're expected to be a playoff team.
Buddy, I appreciate you coming on the show on short notice. Great work on the Athletic. I'm happy for your Blue Jays. Do you want to embarrass yourself and say what the result's going to be in the World Series now before you leave, or you want to talk about this afterwards?
Well, you might as well save the clip because I'm going to be bang on. It's Jays in 7. It was always Jays in 7, and I can't wait for the next 10 or 11 days till we get to that last game on November 1st.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers.
See you, buddy.
Bye now.
See ya, Chris Johnston. We will not make Allison wait too long because she's been kind enough to join us right away. She is in Seattle, so she probably hates Chris Johnston because, I don't like to stir things up here a little bit. And
I can tell.
She told me she was mad She doesn't want to talk to Chris, so I made sure he left first, and we're going to bring her in now.
All right.
She just stopped crying because the Mariners lost in 7 games. Oh, there. Stop. Allison, please stop crying. Please. It's okay. It's just baseball.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. The fun fact is I actually am not a baseball fan. In fact,
Hallelujah.
A friend of mine was
Thank you.
actually sitting behind CJ at Game 7. So,
Yeah.
But to all my Seattleite friends here, this city loves their team so much, and it's pretty devastating for them. So my heart does go out to them. But and I love CJ too. I can never hate him.
Yeah, he's actually. I kind of wanted to punch him in the face when he was smiling there with his Blue Jays hat on, but not. And then when he said 7 games, like I won't do it, but I thought about it for a second. But he's such a good guy. Anyways, the reason why we brought you on here today. Listen, you do such great work. I talked about this earlier in the show. I can't stand math. It's never a good thing for me. But you made a living off math. And so I always thought, like when I was in high school, I used to yell at my math teacher. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this stuff?
Right.
And you've proven that it can happen. So for everybody out there that is having problems with math today, you can make a living off of it. So
power to the nerds.
with all the injuries the Kraken are going through right now, is there a lot of concern with the start they've gone under here? They've lost 5 straight, but in a lot of tough buildings.
Yeah, and they actually eked out a win there in Toronto, so they were able to pull that through.
Right.
Get points in 2 OTLs, or a shootout loss as well. But here's the thing: the team started off so well when it was mostly healthy. They started the season without Riker, Evans, and Capo Caco, who suffered injuries in the preseason. But as this 6-game, it seems like the team has been gone for a year and a half, road trip has gone on. Every game they have lost a player. So they're basically down 6 of the players they expected to be in the starting lineup. That's essentially one whole power play unit if you look at who is out right now. And for that reason, they banked points early. They have 8 points, which considering where this roster is right now has been very important to have that start. And even in the game versus Washington last game, there were some moments where the effort wasn't there. There's a bad goal against from Matt Murray by his own admission as well. But what heartens me is that, of course, no team cares who's out on the other side with injuries, but you can see this team still sticking to its structure and not falling apart. And so if they can continue to hold true to the identity that they're trying to build and get some points along the way, we're not concerned about it as long as more people don't get hurt. Please don't hurt any of our players today out there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lane Lambert, obviously the uncle of Brad Lambert here this evening. New coaching staff comes in. Just your thoughts on how the changes he's brought in and implemented and how it's making the team or what they look like right now. How that's working out for them.
Yeah, for sure. And I mentioned the structure that we are still seeing from this group, even with reinforcements coming in. And I think to me, that's the biggest thing that stands out. He's brought a culture of discipline, a culture of details. Even in camp, we would see him stop a drill if it wasn't executed the way that he wanted. It didn't matter who the player was. And, it's always been my theory that good coaches have systems that match personnel, that match the moment, right? And I think that is what he has done here, because when you talk to these players off the ice, they very earnestly seem to be craving what Lane has brought to the room. And on a hockey side too, I think he identifies as a player's coach. And I think that he really seeks and invests in the relationships with his players, but he's also going to be a dad. He's also going to hold you to that standard. And he thinks about the game both with historical respect, but with some forward thinking. It's great to hear him say he likes how the game has evolved. He likes where it's going. He's one of the guys who loves a very aggressive penalty kill, an offensively minded penalty kill. So I like what he's doing X's and O's wise, and I really like what he's doing in terms of trying to establish a new culture.
Let's get to some math and some data and some analysis as well, Allison. When you look at this team right now, I mean, obviously early on in the season, tied for second in the Pacific Division right now. But when you look at the numbers, when you look at your data, what do you see the strength of this group being?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's fun, but you have to be cautious when we look at data right now. Usually you want, in a perfect world, you want 20 games to really say this is who this group is. And we look at this group as we just talked about, and this is on any given night, not necessarily the group that I think everyone hopes will play the vast majority of the games, but you can look at the games and you can see some early signs, to your point, Sarah. And I think that first and foremost, we're seeing the defensive identity that was always supposed to be the calling card of this group reestablished. They've come back to really being sound defensively. And I think that gives this group a lot of confidence. I think that feeds their ability to play. They're effective at stopping offenses and then really good at getting the puck out of the end zone quickly. So defensively, they're strong. And then the other thing that I am willing to hang my hat on from a numbers perspective early is that an area that everyone talked about this offseason as having to improve was the power play. And for where the Kraken power play was, it's taken some really good steps forward, not just in terms of results, but in terms of how they're playing. So those are two things that I am willing to say, even though it's early, I think are going to be signs of what this team is.
All right. So the Vegas Golden Knights ruined it for everybody. Any expansion team in the history of ever now, they had to go to the Stanley Cup final, and everyone's like, oh, how the heck am I supposed to follow that up? So with that in mind, what is the fan base's patience level right now in Seattle?
Well, we talked about the Mariners, right? And you know what's cool about Seattle is that this area just truly loves and embraces their teams. I mean, I can't even describe to you the energy and the investment that was around this city during that playoff run by the Mariners. And, you know, they love a winner. And we saw that come to bear in the playoff season for the Kraken. I think, to your point, the obstacle that the Kraken have faced is that, you know, their junior hockey has been here for a long time.
Yes.
But a lot of our new hockey fans here were not necessarily hockey fans or maybe even NHL fans when Vegas was established. And so they don't realize how different, those of us who lived it remember how different the rules were for who you could protect and how prepared GMs were. So I think that right now fans are starting to challenge this organization to take the next step. But I think it's the right time to do that, right? I mean, we're going into year 5, and I think it's really good to start to say, continue to make us want to come back to the games. And luckily, at least this early start, we are seeing an entertaining brand of hockey. The overtime win over Vegas was actually one of the funnest games I've watched in quite some time out here. So they're starting to show the fans that it's worthwhile coming or watching. And now it's on to the team to keep doing that.
Well, it's like one of the best rinks in the NHL. It's such a great location for anybody that went to any Seattle Thunderbird games in their Western, you know, went to a Western Hockey League. It's kind of cool how that whole thing turned out with the Key Arena and now Climate Pledge Arena. So, Allison, really appreciate your time. I'll tell CJ you're sorry, saying all the mean things about him, and we'll love to have you back sometime. Please and thank you.
Always. Thank you guys so much. I just love spending time with you, and I love seeing your guys' work. So hopefully we'll talk soon.
Just meant that about me.
I know. Like, did you notice? That's a great question, Sarah. Thanks, Allison.
Girls in hockey, we rules. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Alison Lukan joining us from Seattle. It's like her work is phenomenal.
Well, you know what I love too is that so on the Kraken app I went on the other day because I noticed that Allison had tweeted out afterwards. So she puts out her data analysis right after the game.
Yes.
And so as much as you and I are not math people and are not really numbers people, I think that sometimes when you have the opportunity to look at stuff like that and, you know, you can immediately see high danger percentage chances, zone time, offensive, defensive, neutral. Like some of her work's interesting. I love that they put it up right away as well. So a good follow if you're looking for information.
At Allison L is her X handle. So let's quickly, speaking of work, you've done some work today talking with Dylan DeMelo. So let's throw that out.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to do that right now?
Yeah. Just before we get to that, I mean, we've talked a lot about we've heard a lot of talk, obviously, about the penalty kill. We heard Allison talk about one of the areas that Seattle's improved on is their power play. Well, we're hoping that their power play doesn't have the opportunity to go up much against the Jets penalty kill. But right now, the penalty kill certainly leading the way, not only setting the tone for this Winnipeg Jets team, but across the league where they are currently ranked first in the NHL.
95.6%.
It's impressive.
One power play goal against.
They've killed off 23 in a row.
Yeah.
Whew, I like it.
See, Allison, please extend my appreciation to Sarah as well. Like, great question, Sarah. Great question, Sarah.
Hey.
I'd asked 2 before. Then it comes to you. You asked one question. It's the best question in the world.
All right,
Here's
roll
some
it,
great work.
roll
Here's
it.
some great work from Sarah.
Okay, Dylan, last year there was so much talk about the power play, especially early on, but the job that they did those on the penalty kill get a little bit jealous and say we're going to one-up you guys?
No, but, special teams such a big part of the game, and, you need them to be good on a lot of nights in order to win in this league. We've had contributions from everybody on the PK, goaltending. The new guys have stepped in, done a great job. Really seamless fit with them on the PK. And, everybody's stepping up. We understand that Lau's and Sammy's been out, obviously, so it was an opportunity for guys to step into that role and take advantage of that opportunity. So, we've been getting contributions from everybody. We've been killing, I think, a little bit more than we'd like. We've been a lot of penalties here. I mean, both ways, to be honest. Seems like the refs are calling things pretty tight right now early on in the season. So, it's been winning us games, and, hopefully we can keep it rolling.
How would you describe this penalty kill system and structure that Dean's put in?
Honestly, nothing new from last year. I think we all just have a better understanding of it. Minor tweaks in regards to pressure points. I think we're just working well as four-man units, where maybe in the last year or just parts of the beginning of last year, we're trying to understand it was a different system. We had maybe two guys go and, then two guys are not kind of going on the pressure, where we like to have everybody kind of going because, they do have the extra man. So if you don't have everybody on the same page, they can pick you apart pretty fast. So I think we're just a little more dialed in on it. I think having another year of it, guys just seem comfortable. It's like, you just do the routes. You don't have to think twice. You're not overthinking things. So I think that's been a big success, or a big reason why for the success.
Obviously, component 2 is blocking shots, and that's something that your group's really well. I think the Mad win against LA and late in the game and the job that you guys did. Is there an art to blocking a shot?
No, I mean...
Hopes and prayers?
Yeah, hopes and prayers. There's a bit in regards to, we want to give our goalies a chance to see even if we are blocking the shots. So we're not trying to spill the beans here, but we're just trying to give our goalies a lane in regards to seeing the puck. And if it hits us, great. If it doesn't, we feel confident that they can see the puck through that screen where we're not inhibiting their vision. So there is a little bit of, there's definitely a bit of an art to it. You have to make sure that you're in the stick lane, not in the body lane, and kind of just seeing maybe where the guy is, and maybe some tendencies. Do guys like to pull it? Do guys like to, do a quick shot where you can just get in the lane? It's all, but it takes a whole lot of guts to do it, and it's definitely not a sexy job, but I think, during the game when there's a big block, you can look at the bench and everybody's cheering, everybody understands the risks involved with it, and I think a lot of guys take pride in it, and a lot of players, I think, appreciate it when your teammate makes a big block like that.
And finally, this kicks off tonight. 3 games in 4 days here at home, and we see it sometimes on the road. We don't see it as often usually at home, but what's going to be the key when you look at this many games in such a condensed section?
Well, preparation is the biggest thing. I think the things you're doing away from the rink in regards to your rest, eating well, hydration, all those things, making sure that you're seeing our staff if you have any bumps and bruises, things of that nature, and taking care of your body. That's the biggest thing, because the games are coming fast, they're coming quick. We got 3 and 4 at home, then I think we got 5 and 8 or whatever it is. It's a crazy schedule, and that's just, we knew that going into this with the Olympics, and I guess last year was a good preview of how crazy things can get. So we got a veteran group, guys that have been around, know what it takes. You may not feel your best every single night, but we still need to bring it and make sure that everything's good with our structure, our details. When those things are right, no matter how you feel, you got a chance every night. So confident that we can have a good effort tonight and hopefully get the win and kick this thing off.
Well, looking forward to it. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks.
Look at that. Great interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did nice work.
Thanks,
Phyllis. Phyllis, good eye. Saw Captain Lowry skating around the background. The
getting
jersey.
closer. We seen yesterday, saw Dylan Sandberg
and Cole Perfetti.
Getting closer. They're out on the ice as well, though they are not taking part in any skates with the team, but very positive to be able to see Adam Lowry, at least, although he is in the non-contact, out with the guys. All right. I love this hat. Love it. This one's nice too, but this one takes the cake.
The cool part is the jet on the side there.
For it, and the color. Jets fans, tonight's feature of the game, Winnipeg Jets exclusive vote caps. There are a limited number of these caps available in a variety of colors, available at Jets Gear stores. So you want to get on those exclusive ones, which
exclusive.
Hey, anytime you can throw exclusive in anything, This
This is an exclusive show.
But I love that. Those are very nice. That blue one's great. Okay, we got one more too because we gotta.
I'd like quickly, Matt.
Yes.
Okay, got a few things here quickly.
Yes.
Matt pointing out tonight's Nordiques versus Whalers because Colorado's wearing the Nordiques jerseys.
Okay.
Carolina's wearing the Hartford Whalers jerseys.
I love the Whalers and I love the Nordiques.
Yeah, the Nordiques jerseys are amazing.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
That was a hands in the pants interview, like hands in the pocket interview.
Yep.
Thank you, Donnie boy. Also, I appreciate Kenny's water bottle always. And he said, I read that somewhere that Dodgers fans are poopy pants. I believe that's the scientific technical term for it. I could tell Kenny's water bottle has been watching the show because of that.
Very quickly. I also like Matt pointing out flat brims icy. Do you think I can get away with wearing a flat brim?
Can you?
I don't know. That's my question.
Yes.
Can I?
Yes, you can.
Do I look like I'm trying too hard to be, I don't know, young and hip?
No, because you
are young and hip. All right, here we go.
Tomorrow's show.
Keeping going with hats.
Yep.
Tomorrow is the Calgary Flames are here in town tomorrow, but tomorrow is also 90s night inside Canada Life Center. The first 5,000 fans will be being able to take home this hat when you walk through the doors. So looking forward to it. We are already trying to decide what we are going to wear tomorrow.
Yeah, 90s night. So it will also, here's the thing. Jays won the World Series in the 90s.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. We're going to have kind of like a weird World Series preview show.
Oh, okay.
Ken Weeb's going to join us.
Yep.
Ken was at the game 6 and 7. He's going to also list to us his top 3 live sports moments. And you've been there when Ken tells stories.
Yes.
So he's going to give us his prediction.
Yeah. So it's a special hour-long show tomorrow.
No, we'll make it happen fast.
I'm just joking.
Megan Mickelson, part of the Flames broadcast team, will join us tomorrow.
A fantastic addition to their group.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of seasons. I think she does some stuff for TNT as well. So
she does.
And obviously, very decorated.
Well, she's won some things.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Yeah, very decorated Canadian athletes.
Pretty good. Yeah. So good show coming up. Calgary Flames are here tomorrow. We'll worry about that tomorrow, though. World Series also starts.
Okay, but the focus
is not tonight
on the LA Dodgers losing game 1. It is on tonight. It is the fact that the Winnipeg Jets are kicking off the first of 3 games in 4 nights here at Canada Life Center. We are looking forward to it. I don't want to get makeup on it. Oh, we're looking forward to it. Seattle Kraken in town.
Sarah Lesky's makeup.
Okay, we need to go because this is going to go off the rails. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, it's so great to see so many of you in the chat. We hope that you join us again tomorrow. Hopefully he's got something great cooked up in terms of an outfit tomorrow for the 90s.
Yeah.
For it, his
heyday. Can I wear my Dodgers championship hoodie?
Yes.
Thank you.
You absolutely can. All right. We hope everyone has a great day. Thanks so much for checking in with us. See you tomorrow.
Can you ask some more questions?